How close is that clock to your times on your?
8:59. So we're close. All right. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. We're close to one.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the May 23rd meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. It's kind of a late night last night. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, first item, please.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
Is there a motion or questions on the consent agenda?
I have no questions. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Madam Chair, we have one set of vouchers this morning dated May 22nd, 2013 in the amount of $1,253,978.98. And I'll make a motion to approve those voucher payments as presented.
Okay. There's a motion by Commissioner Archer,
I will second, but I do have two questions.
second by Commissioner Cook. Any questions?
It's as to Mr. Knight with Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, I believe John's here too. But
I can try to handle it. Is it recreation or parks?
Well, it's regarding our credit card purchases.
Okay.
And here, Mr. Knight.
Sorry, Commissioners, I was filling my coffee cup up.
Mr. Knight, on the credit card purchases for today's date for review with U.S. Bank, is there a credit card purchase from an employee that we would need to talk about?
Yeah, we had an employee use a card and make a personal expense, recognized it right away, called back and tried to get that removed from his bill.
Okay. But that was
Yes.
addressed within your office?
Yes.
Okay. And then also, there's a expenditure with the Greater Topeka Chamber or Go Topeka, I'm not quite sure, for a summit for 2 employees.
We sent two of our young and upcoming professionals, Olivia Mayer and John Bell, to the Young People Summit. The Shawnee County Parks and Rec Foundation is a member of the Chamber of Commerce. That bill should come from the foundation. If you'll give that back to us, we'll transfer that payment to come from the foundation.
And so that would be for $110.
I think it was $55 each, if I remember right.
Madam Clerk, given that the expenditure has been made through the credit card already, is it easier for the foundation to reimburse the county rather than to hold the payment to U.S. Bank?
That would be, and also, I'm sure that that Audit Finance would agree, that would be much simpler because then you don't hold up the entire credit card payment for one.
that one purchase.
Okay.
We'll get a check cut immediately.
And so that would be from the foundation.
Correct.
And then
Thank you.
reimbursement too. Okay.
I have no other questions.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
Move approval.
Second.
Oh, those tie. Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item B, planning. Number 1, consider approval of the 2013 fireworks stand applications, which generate $12,250 in revenue.
Good morning, Commissioners. Anna Ortega, Planning Department. We have 24 fireworks stands in front of you for your approval.
Anna, how many, tell us differences from last year.
I do have a
Kind of a
kind
summary?
of a report.
That would be good.
We're down 1 from last year due to the construction at 45th and Topeka. And we did have one new applicant that had never filed before.
So 24 total applications then.
One of those 24 were late, so I always charge a late fee of $250.
Okay. And kind of go through the process, how these are approved by your office and then brought to us.
Okay. Applicants file the fireworks stand application by May 1st. Provide a site plan showing the requirements, distances from property lines, et cetera. They're reviewed by Tom Block, Public Works Director, and one of the sheriff's deputies that are assigned to it. It was George Salahar this time.
Okay.
So, and they pay the fee of $500. Very short process.
Sure. Other questions?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
May. This is just for the permit to operate the fireworks stand. This does not address any types of fireworks or different, this is just for the permitting of being able to operate the fireworks.
Correct.
Okay.
But I do notify the fire marshal's office. They always ask for a copy of all the applicants. They do go out and check. The sheriff's department also goes out and checks. If I get a complaint, I will go out also.
All right. Thank you.
Further questions?
No.
I might just mention, and I know Pat's in the audience, but it's kind of a good time to remind, the public when fireworks are allowed in the county, the unincorporated areas, and I know the city puts that up on their website as well, so that might be helpful to have that up on our homepage, and so that everybody can be
Okay.
reminded of the hours and days that they are allowed, so.
We do have our application and timeframe on the on our website,
On the
our planning department
Okay.
website.
Okay,
We got that out.
okay, good deal. All right.
Move to approve.
There's a motion to approve by Commissioner
Second.
Cook, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item C, emergency management. Number 1, consider request to create a new position by combining the positions of ambulance compliance officer and communications unit leader at an annual salary, including benefits, of $46,109.
Good morning, Commissioner. Dave Sturbins, Emergency Management. By combining these two positions, we're able to save some money on the end of our budget, but also be able to complete some tasks and projects that really need to be done. One of the reasons to this being an exempt position, and Mr. Thummel and HR helped us put this together, and I'll answer any questions.
Dave, is the communications unit leader, is that filled at this time?
It's a position that we've had Nelson work on a part-time basis. It's
Okay.
one of the functions that he does.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve. I talked to Mr. Sturmans about this, and he convinced me that it would provide better service and cost less money. So anytime we have a proposition like that, I support it. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Item D, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to award the bid for the Northeast Meriden Road over Little Muddy Creek Culvert Replacement Project to Emerson Construction, Inc., and authorize and execution of Contract C 277-2013 for same in an amount of $153,686.56.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Block with Public Works and Solid Waste. This is a Public Works item. As mentioned in the memo, we went out for bids for a replacement of a large culvert structure on Northeast Meriden Road, about a third of a mile north of Northeast 54th Street. We took bids on April 30th, in which we received 3 bids. The low bid was submitted by Emerson Construction Incorporated for the amount of $153,686.56. The engineer's estimate for this project was $181,900. So we came in below that. We have worked with Emerson Construction in the past. They are a very reputable firm. The funding for this will come from our special bridge account, and we have adequate funds to cover the expenses for this project. So it is our recommendation that we award the bid to Emerson Construction in the amount of $153,686.56. If there's any questions regarding this, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Thank you, Tom.
Motion to
Questions?
approve?
Is a motion to approve the contract?
Second.
Award the bid to Emerson?
And award the bid to Emerson.
Okay. Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item D2, consider approval of request to award the bid for the Southeast Croco Road Bridge over Lynn Creek project to Mill Valley Construction, Inc., and authorize an execution of contract C-278-2013 for same in an amount of $91,776.
Commissioners, Tom Block again with Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item. And as opposed to the previous project, this project would be just the repair, the rehabilitation of the deck of the bridge structure and not a total replacement. This bridge is located on Southeast Croco Road, just south of Southeast 77th Street. We took bids on May 8th, and we received 4 bids, with Mill Valley Construction submitting the low bid at $91,776. The engineer's estimate was $97,163.50. The funding for this project would come from the 2004 countywide half-cent sales tax, of which there's adequate funding to support this project. Therefore, it is our recommendation that we award the bid to Mill Valley Construction in the amount of $91,776. If there's any questions regarding this project, I'd be happy to try to answer that.
Motion to approve the request to award the bid.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries 3-0.
Item D3, consider authorization and execution of contract C-279-2013, third amendment to the loan agreement for the Kansas Water Pollution Control Revolving Fund for the Sherwood Regional Collection System Additional Improvements Project, changing the repayment amount to $21,035.67, beginning with the repayment due September 1st, 2013, reflect the principal forgiveness amount of $300,000 and the prior prepayment of $1,697,790.74.
Commissioners, Tom Block again with Public Works and Solid Waste. This too is a Public Works item. I will try to eloquently explain this. This is goes in a little bit of detail, but the past couple of years, well, as you are aware, Shawnee County owns the Sherwood wastewater treatment plant and operates it along with the sewer system around Lake Sherwood. We contract with the city of Topeka to operate the plant for us, even though we are the owners of it. But these past couple years, or several years prior, we determined that there was inadequate capacity in some of the force mains and pump stations around Lake Sherwood. So we proceeded with an improvement project to replace some force mains and some pump stations. And initially, we were looking at doing a series of pump stations and force mains as one project. As the estimates had come in, and engineers' estimates had come in, we thought that the projects were going to come in the $4 to $5 million range. We didn't have the funds to do that level of work, so we broke it into 2 phases. As we were going along, so we were looking at basically doing about a $2.5 to $3 million project with the intent of using cash reserves to pay for about half of it and taking a loan out for the other half. As we were going along, and this is part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, one of the provisions in that act is they were offering what's called principal forgiveness if you borrowed money to do improvement projects for sewer systems like this, or wastewater systems. So in lieu of just saving our cash and paying the project off as we went along, we elected to borrow more and hold back our cash reserves until a point we completed the project, and then we took the money we were going to use to pay along the way and paid it off immediately after the project was done. By doing that, we got a 15% forgiveness on the principal that we borrowed. So we borrowed $2 million, and we're able to get a 15% principal forgiveness for that $2 million that we borrowed. We originally weren't going to borrow that much. So by doing that, we saved 15% on the $2 million we borrowed. So we essentially saved $300,000. And then when the project was completed, we immediately then took the money we were going to spend along the way and just made one large lump sum payment of $1.6 million. So by doing that, we essentially saved $300,000 to that fund. So this amendment, what this amendment is then just reflecting that we made the large prepayment of the $1.697 million, and they redid our note to reflect that, and then also reflect the $300,000 principal forgiveness that we had gotten. So that is what this amendment is all about. It's just redoing the note to update essentially our bond payment schedule. So hopefully that eloquently explained what we were trying to do and what we did do and what we're asking for today.
Thank you.
So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. I don't know if I can, but I'm sure try to be.
Madam Chair, I would move to approve the third amendment to the loan agreement for the Kansas Water Pollution Control Revolving Funds.
So motion by Commissioner Cook. Your second.
And I'll second that long-winded explanation.
There's a second by Commissioner Archer. And to point out as well, Tom, these improvements are being paid for by the residents that have that
Yes,
service
users,
only.
only
So those
users of the
users
Sherwood
that
system.
service.
And I do want to point out, we had such good bids come in that I initially said that we were going to do the first phase. We were able to do both phases in the end. So we did one phase 1 year, and the bids came in so well, and we knew we were going to get this $300,000 principal forgiveness. We could afford then to do the whole project. So that was, and we just completed that. They were just doing some finishing up earlier this year. So
Good, okay.
Good.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
thank you.
Item E, Health Agency. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-280-2013 with Kansas State University to mentor senior dietetics students through the Women, Infant, and Children Program. Staff time covered by the WIC grant.
Morning, Commissioners. Allison Alejos, Health Agency. As stated, this is a contract that would enable us to have students from K-State come and work within our WIC program. It would be a great opportunity to get some exposure to public health and the WIC program in general. There's no cost to the county.
Motion to approve the contract.
Second.
There's a motion to approve by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Allison.
Item F, Information Technology. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-281-2013 with TrustWave for annual maintenance of the internet filter for 3 years and a total amount of $20,871.62.
Good morning, Commissioners. Pat O'Blender with the Information Technology Department. We are up for renewal again for our maintenance for our internet filter. This is a device that prevents accidental browsing to sites that might contain malware or inappropriate content. We had budgeted an amount for that based on an annual renewal, but when we did some looking around, we found that we could contract to do a 3-year renewal and achieve approximately an $8,000 savings over the course of those 3 years. We weren't certain that we'd have enough money in this year's budget to pay for the full 3 years, so we went to the Audit Finance Office and asked if there was some way to get that paid for and then spread out over 3 years, paid for initially and then spread out the payments internally over 3 years within Shawnee County. And they did give us a mechanism to use called a prepaid asset account. that would allow us to pay $7,000 out of the IT budget for this year and pay off the amount to Trust Wave for the entire amount. And then over the subsequent 2 years, we'd pay $6,935.81 internally. And that is the question before you today. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer
I think
those.
you left out the most important part, the savings.
The savings?
Do you realize how much is that, Pat?
That's $8,000. Yeah,
Okay.
it's significant, so
Yes,
it's
it
worth
is.
the trouble.
Commissioner Archer, do you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to point out that I had written to Mr. Oblander about this company, and he indicated that Trustwave was established in 1985, that they were a private company, but they are financially secure. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye, opposed no, motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item G, Weed Department. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-282-2013 with the Tri-County Drainage District for weed control at a cost not to exceed $7,000 to the district.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Cavis from your Shawnee County Weed Department. There's two things that are important about this item. The first is this is our crews doing work for that district, and they reimburse the county the cost, so it doesn't cost us. We're actually being reimbursed for the cost. And then the other thing is this district is Tri-County. It's aptly named. We will go into other counties. There's a small portion of Wabaunsee County that's on the south side of or the north side of the river that we enter into, and about a quarter mile of Potawatomi County that our crews will be doing some work. So we've been doing this contract for probably a decade.
Thank you, John. Questions?
Motion to approve the contract.
So motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye, opposed no, motion carries 3-0.
Item G2, consider approval of request to award bid and purchase noxious weed control chemicals.
Again, good morning, Commissioners. I'm going to start the discussion here with an apology. There's a mistake in this memo. There's never excuse for mistake, but it got put together quickly. The product aminopyrrolid, the low bidder was actually Snyder Sales at $73 a quart and not Sims Chemical. And just overlooked that. These herbicides are what the county cost shares to landowners in Shawnee County with noxious weeds. It's a requirement of the state statute. We're required to sell it at below our wholesale costs. This expenditure will be in the neighborhood. We established the prices, and it'll be in the neighborhood of $325,000 worth of herbicide by the end of the year. Although we're able to reimburse most of that, the county will have about a $70,000 expenditure on this program.
Okay, thank you, John. Are there questions? So the one change, though, according to the memo, is, again, can you repeat that?
Aminopyrrolid, it's
Thank you.
one from the bottom, Sims Chemical, that should say Snyder Sales and Chemical, and the price should be $73 a quart, or $73 a unit.
Okay.
Aminopyrrolid is used to control musk thistle.
Motion to approve with the amendment to the memorandum.
Okay. It's a motion by Commissioner
Quick
Cook.
question. Is that adequate, County Clerk, to
Yes.
document?
Yes, I'll document it and I'll make sure that it's
Okay.
noted on the original.
Then I'll second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Item 5, administrative communications.
I'll start out with just a reminder that we have no meeting on Monday in observance of Memorial Day. Just a reminder.
Morning, Commissioners. Larry Moss, Shawnee County Treasurer. I wanted to follow up with you on a question you had last Monday about tax payments and late payments. On Monday, the 20th, we received several trays of
tax payments equating to about $5 million, much of which was postmarked early May. The issue was within the postal system. I had already talked to Postmaster Gonzalez about that. I think we've got through that issue because yesterday it had trickled down to about 80 pieces. I will follow up with the postmaster to be sure that we don't have that issue again in December. But I wanted to let you know nobody's going to suffer any penalties because of that. We will process it based on the postmark.
Larry, what was the explanation on why?
Well, I'm pretty sure it wasn't just limited to our mail, because I'd heard several people tell me that they had personal mail that had taken up to 8 days to get from one place to another in Topeka. You know that in February they started sorting mail in Kansas City, so in fact they added a 2-day delay to all mail because it has to go to Kansas City to be sorted, then it comes back to Topeka to be delivered. We probably contributed to that because we used statements that we had already purchased that had our Topeka P.O. box on it, rather than waste that money and purchase new forms. So they had to forward our mail, which did not help because essentially then it got forwarded to Kansas City, sorted, or was sent to Kansas City, sorted, back to Topeka to be forwarded to Kansas City to be sorted again. So it started ping-ponging back and forth. So that issue will go away, and I'm pretty sure that we won't see that again in December. So,
Very good. Thanks.
all righty. Question? Thank you.
Good. Okay. Anyone else?
Commissioners, I did want to highlight the fact that we had gotten the internet, or excuse me, the web site for the Shawnee County website updated. So I get this thing out of mute. And show you a little bit about what it looks like now. We cut this over to this new format Thursday last week, and we've been busily working through any of the linkages that were still a little bit non-functional, and we feel like we've got pretty well the entire website transferred over to the new look and feel. This is the home page that users will see when they navigate to the site www.snco.us, and one of the first things that you'll see on this new look is the splash screen that has scrolling images. This would be an ideal place to put the item that you were just referring to earlier. Like we could put a slide in here that refers to, hey, during the 4th of July, the times for legal discharge of fireworks are this and such. We can put a slide in here in this location, and that's something that would be highlighted for people that are browsing to our site, and we want to get that out in front of them right away. So we can put in whatever we like in these slides right here. So that gives us a real opportunity to highlight a lot of different things for different departments. Across the top, you'll see that we've got tabs that you can click on that take you to the various department websites or web pages. And you can click on those and get to the individual departments. This is the one for the commission. And there's us. As you cycle through, you'll see that the pages are divided up into basically thirds, with navigation buttons over here, content information about the specific page that you're in, and then a picture of staff or department heads or whatever in the various departments that you'd see. Down at the bottom of the page are the footers. This information remains consistent throughout all the pages that you visit, and just provide handy links to other places that you might like to go, frequently visited sites, non-county sites, etc. Anytime you want to get back to the home page, you can click on any of the Shawnee County logos, and it takes you right back to the beginning of the site. So just a heads up, we've switched this over. It does look a little bit different. It also has the ability to present itself in a lot of different formats depending on the device that you're using to access the site. If you're looking at this on a computer, this is how it will look. If you use an iPad, it's going to reorganize the look of the site to optimize it for the touchscreen interface on the iPad rearrange the photography and the images so that it fits better. You can also observe it on a smartphone, and it'll compress even further and remove content that doesn't display well on a smartphone, but still leave you the buttons in a nice touch format that are easy to navigate for all three of those devices.
And that just doesn't happen. I mean, there's
That
things
doesn't
in the
just happen.
background
No, that
have
takes
to-
a lot of programming and integration and design effort. And I've really got to hand kudos to the programming staff, a couple of individuals in particular. Asim Sheikh put a lot of time and energy into making this work. And this is something that is difficult to even find through paid services that you would host websites through. You can get it, but it's quite expensive to get that done. But we've developed that internally, and I feel like we've got a really good-looking product, and it's I think it's a showcase for Shawnee County and the departments that want to interface with the public. Do you have any questions about the webpage?
And I think you've had good response from the departments, and they're wanting to use this more to push out information and
Yeah.
to improve the pages, content, and that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
it's been good.
the fundamental design is set up so that it's flexible and easily modified. So now that we have it set up, it'll be much easier to go in and make additions, changes, modifications, whatever we want to do. We can do them much more quickly. The site is much more flexible. So we're really happy with what we've got right now. So thank you very much.
Commissioner Archer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, good job. I like the new website. Technically, it's very good. In my opinion, when you first click on, the first screen you get to is a little bland. I mean, when you get to Parks and Rec, for example, it's splashy and has pizzazz. I'm glad to hear that the first page it's flexible, that we can change the message, but maybe a little bit more color or a little bit more sizzle. I guess I would like, but that's just me. That's just
Yeah.
my
Well,
opinion.
let me give you this. If you look at our old site, you want to see
yeah.
bland?
Yeah. No, that's a bad
So
comparison.
we've come a long way and made tremendous advances in the
Exactly.
look and feel, but we do have the ability to change the design
The
elements,
message that's
Okay.
coming.
and we'll
Again,
rely on
this
those screens. I know one of the pictures in there is really awful looking. I believe it was taken by some guy named Larry Ma. We'll get that one out of there and get something nice looking. Thank
Mr.
you.
Oblander, I just want to really congratulate your staff on being able to do this in-house, and that
Yeah.
saved the county
That's right.
substantial amount of money. So we're not contracting out. Also allows our developers a chance to really expand their skill set, and so that it really does show a good sign by your department and what they can do.
Pat, I know we track everything on the website as far as hits and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
Since we've made some improvements, I know especially in Parks and Recreation, that's been completed for a while, but now that we have the whole thing, it'd kind of be good to get some feedback, I think, to show how it's being
used.
how
Yeah.
much it's being utilized.
Another design element was placed into this. We do have a good set of analytics that we
Good.
can use to see how many unique hits, how much time is spent by unique hits on that web page. Quite a bit of useful information that we can provide to you,
Okay.
show you how it's being used.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Good work.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby, Parks and Recreation. I just want to let everybody know that all the aquatic facilities, except for Crestview, will be up and running starting on Saturday. It's been a hard spring, a late spring, but the park maintenance did a great job of getting everything ready to roll. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. We also have a kids stampede at Old Prairie Town on Saturday morning also, so just want to make them announcements.
Good. Thanks,
Thank you.
Randy. Anyone else? Okay, next item, please.
Item 6, executive sessions.
Is there a need today?
I would move we adjourn into executive session for personnel matters of non-elected personnel, not to exceed 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor of the motion say aye, opposed no. Motion carries 3-0.
You can get flyers.
Yeah, I know, something.
We got one of those in my office.
We are back in session, no action required. We are adjourned.